think it's recording now. Yep, it's recording. Hello, Future Pete. We'll say hello to Future Pete.
And Johnny, hello.
Future Johnny, hello, Future Johnny, and anyone else in the future that will be listening. Okay, so let's have a look at these Italiano things then. So we went through about 5 of them, didn't we, last time?
Yeah.
And we'll see what we can remember. So attacher, I think it's che because it's got a double C, hasn't it? Attacher, what do you think that means? Can you remember?
Straight on to the next.
Well done. Yeah, straight on to the next section. So it's a bit like a segue. Segue kind of means the same thing. Dolente.
Go, Matty.
Go ahead, Matty. Dolente, can you remember? If I do this?
Sad.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately I won't be in the exam to make faces at you, so you'll have to try and remember that one. It'd be good if it could be, wouldn't it? Just sitting in the corner making faces. Dolor.
Grief.
Grief or sorrowful, yeah, very good. Doppio movimento. What do you think of that? Oh. Doppio, it kind of makes sense, this one, because dop, like doppelganger, is 2, isn't it? So doppio is twice as fast. And movimento is just moving, isn't it? So it's moving twice as fast, basically. Yeah, Catch just answered me there. Estinto.
Lifeless.
Yeah,
like,
or as soft as possible.
Soft, yeah.
Or lifeless. So they're all about kind of being a bit sad at the moment, aren't they? These things, a bit sad and grief and mournful and all that sort of stuff. Okay, here's a couple of new ones then. Inclazando. Now, if I said incla, so like an incline and something, isn't it? What happens when you have an incline and something?
It could be volume or speed.
Speed. It's getting quicker, yeah. Getting quicker. So it's like a gradual incline. It's not just like you're playing at 40 BPM and then all of a sudden it goes to 60 BPM. You know what I mean? It's not that kind of a change. It's like an increment. So incalzendo, that one is. Lacrimoso. It's sad again. Just means sad again.
Sad.
Yeah, lacrimoso. There's a lot of different things to just say sad, isn't there? Just say sad. Loco.
Wacky.
Yeah, you would think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It means at normal pitch. So it's kind of the opposite of wacky, really, which doesn't make mood, because loco is crazy, isn't it? But yeah, loco in Italian means at the normal pitch. Sometimes you see a direction in music to play it an octave higher. Do you know what I mean? So instead of writing it all out again, you might have a repeat sign, and then the second time it'll give you a little 8VA, which means play it an octave higher the second time. So loco just means it's cancelling that. Basically, we're going back to the normal pitch, so you don't carry on playing an octave higher. And one more, we'll just do a couple there. Lunga.
Like extend. I don't know.
Yeah, longer. It's a long pause.
Long pause, right? Okay.
A long pause, yeah. So yeah, it kind of makes sense, that one, doesn't it? A long or a long. So if you remember those one for this week, we got incalzendo. These are all on the thing on the classroom. So incline, getting a bit quicker. Lacrimoso, which is just another one for sad. Loco, at the normal pitch, which is kind of opposite of what we would think. And longer, so a longer pause, longer. Right. Okay.
Kelly,
yeah?
I just had a message off Jack saying he's going to be running late.
That's all right. We'll just crack on. He can catch up when he joins in, doesn't he? Okay, so that's about half of them, to be honest. That's about, well, yeah, it's about halfway through the page, those ones we've done. So it's just a case of, hello. It's just a case of remembering those and trying to memorise them the best you can. I find it more easy if I kind of associate them to something. So longer, you know what I mean? If you just, but it's up to you, however you remember them. You might want to print it off or write them down and get someone to test you. That's always a good one. So I've got my cat t-shirt on today and a cat. That's good, isn't it? Go on, get down. Go on. Right, so a couple of weeks ago then, we were talking about enharmonic equivalents, which is a fancy name for what?
The equivalent to a major being a minor or minor major.
Not quite. Not quite. So you're talking about relative majors and minors.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about relatives.
Yeah. So if I said to you, right, here is a piece of music, an F sharp, please write it out, and it's enharmonic equivalent, what would be F sharp's enharmonic equivalent?
G flat.
G flat. Well done, Matty. Yeah. So it's a fancy way of saying it's two different names for the same thing, isn't it? So why would we bother? Why would we write out something in a flat key and not a sharp key, or vice versa? What's the point?
Sorry, Liam's messaging me, sorry.
That's all right. So if I said to you, right, I've got this piece of music, it's an F sharp major, but I'm going to write that in G flat. Why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just leave it in F sharp major?
Guess it depends on
Some
sorry, my mind's gone blank.
That's why I'm doing this, so we can get thinking a bit, because it's, if I just dive into the next thing, it'll be like, oh, we haven't done this for 2 weeks. So why would I bother writing an enharmonic equivalent key? Why would I write something in G flat rather than F sharp? Why do you think?
because some musical, what is it? Something plays in a flat.
Well done, Matthew. Yeah, fantastic, really good. So some instruments are B flat or E flat or F instruments, aren't they? They are, that's kind of their home key. So we think of our home key kind of being C, don't we, on the piano, because it's the one that's got no sharps and flats, and that's the key, but it's all nice to play. So in some instruments, B flat is their home key or E flat is their home key. So if you give them a piece of music in F sharp, it's going to blow their mind, isn't it? Because they're used to reading flat keys. So if you'd ever want to confuse a trumpet player, you know, give them a piece of music in F sharp and they will be very confused. It's that old joke, isn't it? How do you shut a guitarist up? Give them a piece of sheet music. You know, this is the old joke that people say guitarists can't read, but there you go. So yeah, it's useful to have different keys. By the same token, guitarists generally like keys with that have sharps in. So Matty, if you're playing with a guitarist, they will say, oh, let's do a blues in D or a blues in G or A. They probably won't say, let's do a blues in E flat or B flat. So different instruments sort of lend themselves better to different keys. So that's good, okay. We were writing out some key signatures and things and harmonic equivalents. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at some passages of music. And what you have to do is you have to firstly say what key it's in. Where are we? And then you have to rewrite it. So, yeah, so we've done this page, haven't we? The one where we wrote all the accidentals and the different clefs, all the key signatures. We did that, didn't we? Yeah, so we're all happy with that. And we wrote out some scales. Okay, so the other thing we did was we wrote out some melodic and harmonic minor scales, which are always a bit of a faff. So what's a melodic minor scale then? Oof.
I do know.
Yeah, so melodic minor scale is a bit weird because it's the one that's different on the way up and then different on the way down. So if you go in ascending, it's a major scale with a lowered third. And if it's descending, it's a minor scale, a natural minor scale. Yeah. Hello, Liam.
Hello, sorry.
Hi, Liam, you okay?
Yeah, you.
Good, I'm fine, thank you, yeah. So we're just talking about melodic minor scales. So ascending, it's a major scale with a lowered third. Descending, it's a natural minor scale. So you can think of that as a major scale with a lowered 3, 6 and 7 if you want to. So on the way, so if you write out a major scale, on the way up, you lower the 3. On the way down, you lower 3, 6, and 7, depending on which way you're going. And then we wrote out some harmonic minor scales as well. So what's the difference between a natural minor scale and a harmonic minor scale? What's the difference? There's a note that we do something to, isn't there?
The 6th is
Not the 6th, but you're close.
raised 7th.
The 7th, we raise the 7th. So what we do is we, see if I've got an instrument. I'll just sing it. So what we've got, if we've got a natural minor scale, we've got bum, 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 bum. We've got a harmonic minor scale, it goes bum, 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 ba, 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 ba. That little raised 7th there gives it kind of the Eastern sound, doesn't it? So that's the difference between a harmonic minor scale. If you're asked to write that out, you always make sure it's got a raised 7th. Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to have a little look at some passages of music and try and figure out what key they're in. What you have to do is rewrite it with the key signature. So you've got a piece of music with a bunch of accidentals, and then you rewrite it with the correct key signature in, okay? So I think what we should do is we should try a little simple example on a piece of manuscript. We'll try a couple of those, because if I throw you straight into this book, we're up to 6 sharps and flats and you're going to cry, okay? So we'll try a couple of, let me just get a piece of manuscript up. How are you keeping, Liam? You okay? See there?
Yeah, I'm sound. Yeah, I've just got my mic muted. Yeah, I've just been working on that really.
Yeah.
Just getting the odd bits of working.
It's a very, very strange environment. Right, okay, so I think what I'm going to do, if I share my whole computer with you, and then when I'm sort of switching between screens, hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing rather than me sharing and unsharing. So I'm sharing my desktop. Can you guys see all the rubbish on my desktop there? Can you see everything?
Yeah, I can see everything, bar lines and that.
That's good, isn't it?
I
So
can see us again as well.
yeah, so you can see yourselves on there, which is a bit weird, isn't it? So I'll maximise this. Right, and let me see if I can draw on it. So what you're going to be doing is you'll see a small passage of music and you'll be asked to figure out what key it's in and then rewrite it. So somebody pick a clef, please, and we'll draw a clef. Any clef.
Treble.
Treble clef, there we go, great. We're going to draw a treble clef in there, very shoddily. And I'm going to write a little piece of music out here, okay? So let's see. We won't make it too complex. Let's see. We'll make it nice and easy to start with. Okay. So, what are you going to be presented with? I'm only going to do 2 bars just so you get the idea. What you will be presented with is a piece of music that will have some accidentals in. Okay, and you're asked to figure out what key that piece of music is in. So the first thing to do is to count the sharps or the flats. So what have we got in there? How many sharps have we got?
2.
Two sharps.
Yeah,
Sharps. What notes are they?
F and A.
F and what?
I know E and A.
Are you right?
Or
F
F.
and
A. I know C, sorry.
Oh, F and C, yeah.
yeah, C, okay. So we've got an F and a C sharp in there, okay. So what is the key? What key could we possibly be in with 2 sharps?
D.
Which?
D.
D major, yeah. So we could be in D major. But there's a relative minor, isn't there, that could possibly be that as well. So if I just bring up my, do you remember how you find your relative major and minors?
Do you go down 3?
You go down. It's,
Yeah, so D major is the major, and if you want to find the relative minor, you go down 3 semitones. So if I just bring up my one sec. It won't let me move this because I'm drawing on it, I think. Yeah, so just do it in your head. So if we go down 3 semitones, what's the relative major? Minor?
B.
B? Yeah, okay. So what we're looking for then is, it's one of these two keys because it's got 2 sharps in. So what we're looking for is, where does it resolve to? Where's the harmony around? What is it? If it starts on a B and ends on a B, it's probably in B minor. If it starts on a D or ends on a D, it's probably D major. You have to kind of look at what's going on in the music. So in this particular case, what note does it start on?
D.
So it's around D, isn't it? And then we're going to C sharp, which is the leading note, isn't it, in the key, the leading tone. So it's implying we're going back to D as well. So what key are we in there?
D.
We're in D major, aren't we? If we had a passage of music that was the same, but was kind of all around here, and we had some chords and it was going back to B, and you know, it ended on a B, it'd be B minor. But because it's starting on a D, and it's kind of implied that it's going back to D with this leading tone, we're in D major. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do a flat one. I'm really sorry that this music is a bit pants to look at, but it's not easy to draw on this. Okay, so let's start another one then. So this time we're having treble clef. We're going to have 4/4, so 4 beats in every bar. And then what we're going to have is this. Okay, so we'll just do another 2 bars. Like I said, it's just so what key signature have we got there then? What have we got in there? What's the possibilities?
It'd be a C because there's no sharps or flats.
So we've got a B flat there. Sorry, that's a flat.
Oh.
That's in the key signature.
Then it'd be a B, possibly.
There's a B flat in there. So which key has 1 flat in it?
F.
Oh, F.
Major.
F major, good. And then if we go down 3 semitones, what's the relative minor?
D.
D. Now have a look at the tonality, have a look at the notes in the music. So what do we start on? Where's it going and where does it end up? So
Well, in D minor, because it starts on a D, doesn't it?
Starts on a D. We've got a D minor triad here, a D minor chord, and then it goes back to D there. So the chances are it's going to be D minor. So we're looking at the kind of tonality of the whole piece and where it's going. If I played that, what have I got? Got an accordion, believe it or not. Okay, so if I played that little bit of music I've just written, this is really bad. It's like a kid's accordion. But so it would sound like this. So you can hear, can't you, that the tonality, even though it's got 1 flat and it's kind of, you know, it's in the key of F major, it's definitely minor, that, isn't it? God, I can play this for years. So you can hear that it's a minory sound. So that's what kind of tells us, right, okay, so they're dead easy, those ones. Let's try something a bit more tricky, not loads more tricky, but a bit more tricky. Okay, so let's see if I can draw something a bit thicker so I can do actual dots. Right, okay, so we're going to have treble clef, by the way. I'm just going to do some crotchets here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put in some sharps there. That would sound rubbish, by the way, but it's just an example. Right, okay. Right, now how many sharps have we got in this piece of music? That's a terrible sharp, but...
4. Well, technically we've got 5, but it's 4.
It's 4. Why is it technically, why is it 4, even though we can see 5?
Go, Matty.
Because the C.
Yeah. So this note is the same as this note, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they count as 1. So we got 4 sharps in there. Okay. So what is the key? What's
E.
the major key? E. Yeah. Good. So it's either E major or. Hello, Jack.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. So it's either E major, or if we go down 3 semitones, what's the other option?
D.
Yeah. So it's either E major. Oh, hang on. No, it's not D. I'm talking rubbish. It's not D.
C sharp, D.
C sharp. Well done. So we're either in E major or C sharp minor here. Okay. So which are we in? If you have a kind of look at where it starts.
Good, Jack.
So what note's this?
Well, we in treble clef.
Yes.
F.
That's an F.
No, it's not. It's E. Sorry.
A, well done. So we're in E major. Now what the question is asking you to do is not only identify the key, but also rewrite it using the accidentals, using the key signature. So what you have to do now is input the key signature for E major. So I've got 4 sharps in there, so I'll simply put them in the right order, hopefully. So difficult to try and do this. I could do it like a stylus, that'd be good. Okay, so you got E major. And then you simply rewrite it, but don't put any sharps in because they're in the key signature. And so on and so forth. You don't need to put all the accidentals in. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Are you all with me? So basically, Jack, what we've just done is we've just had a look at what key a piece of music's in, looking at the accidentals, and then looked at the 2 possible keys and what it could be. So this one's got 2 sharps in it, so it can either be D major or B minor. Now, if we have a look, it starts on a D and it ends on a C sharp, which is the leading tone in the key, isn't it? For the second to last note. So if we're talking about tonic, supertonic and all that, it's the leading tone going back to D. So we figured out that it was in D major, okay. Now, I'm going to show you some bits from the book now. I'm going to freak you out because it looks quite difficult to start with, but it's not really that difficult. We just need to, oh, crikey. Look at all that. Do I need to erase all this? Erase. Must be a better way of doing that. Anyway, let me bring this. It'll probably disappear when I bring the handout up.
If you go onto the top bar where you can access annotate, there's a button that says clear.
Oh, very good. Annotate. Clear. Clear all drawings. Hey, look at that. What a guy, Jack. Thank you. So I just went to and then stop annotating. Right, okay. So I just want to bring up this So we're on theory 1.
Sorry, Kelly, just dead quick. Just wondering, do you know how Sean Farr got on the exam?
Oh, he passed it, yeah.
Yes.
Pretty sure he got. I'm pretty sure he got a distinction. Actually, it was either a merit or a distinction. I remember thinking it was high. It was good because
Made up for him.
I know he didn't pass it last time, did he? So that was really hard on him. But yeah, it's tough because he had to do 2 exams as well. So you know, well done you lot, because without you he couldn't have done it, could he? So big pats on the backs. Right, okay folks, so this is the first one. Name the key of each extract, then write each extract using the correct key signature. Remove any accidentals that become unnecessary, but also add any that may be needed. Okay, so we've got a double sharp in there, haven't we, on the passage that we've got to identify. So we're just going to have a look right at the first one first. Basically what he's done is you count how many flats are in there. So how many flats have we got in here, guys? We'll have a little look. I'll annotate it as we go. So don't forget, as we've just looked, as Matty said, if you see a note that's sharpened or flattened twice, it only counts as 1, doesn't it? So for example, if I've got an E flat here and there's an E flat in another bar that's also flat, see that E flat there and that E flat there will just count as 1. Won't it? So we don't count that as 2. So let's draw on it. Right, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to circle the flats in there that count as 1. Do you see what I mean? This is how you figure it out. So firstly then, what's that note please, guys?
B flat.
B flat, well done. So we put that in. Okay, what's this note?
Is that B?
It's a B flat as
Yeah,
well.
it's also B.
Yeah, so we don't count that one, do we? Because it's already accounted for there. So we know it's got a B flat in. Okay, I'm just being totally harassed by this cat at the moment. Right, okay, so we've got another flat here. Oh,
A.
it's an A flat, well done, Jack. Brilliant, okay. So we're gonna, let me draw on it. Draw. Come on. It's not letting me draw. Okay, I think it's because of this, isn't it? What's this? Can somebody just circle that note for me and put an A underneath? It might let me do it now. Wait, so still not letting me do it for some reason. Yeah, so we've got an A flat. Okay, so that's 2 flats so far. What's the next note, please?
A double flat flat. A double flat flat. I'm not wrong.
You could call it a triple flat, couldn't you? But what would we call it if we're a normal person?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not one of them. G flat.
G flat, well done. So that's another flat. So someone write G flat underneath. I'm liking this red, that looks really good. Okay, so the next one we've got there is another one. So that doesn't really count, does it? Because we've already got that circled. So that's fine. The next one, what's this one then?
E.
E flat, well done. Have we
Oh,
already
yeah.
we haven't got an E flat, have we? So we need to put that one in. Grand. Okay, next one. Oh no, it's this one, isn't it? They're both the same, so they count as 1.
D. D flat.
D flat, brilliant. Okay.
Can we not call them like E triple flat? Because I think that sounds much better and it'll confuse a lot more people in September.
Yeah, when we get to class, we'll start doing that. We'll say that this one's an A quadruple flat, semi, demi, hemiquaver. What do you think? And you'll say,
It's actually hemi demi semi quaver.
we get everyone to grow a beard like Chris, so we can all beard stroke. Yes, I understand. Yes. Right. Okay. So back to this. We got a D flat, and then what's this one?
C.
C flat. Yeah. So some C flat. Grand. Okay. So stick a C flat in. E flat's already accounted for, isn't it? B flat's already accounted for. What's this one? This one's an A flat, already accounted for.
Yeah, and then
There.
G
This
again.
one's a G flat.
And G's already accounted for. Okay, so what we need to do now is count the flats. So how many flats have we got? 1, 2,
6.
3, 4, 5, 6. Great. Okay, so which key has 6 flats? Let's work it out. Hang on. Okay, so what we do is we count the flats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's the one before. That's the key we're in, the one before. Oh, thanks for correcting that. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? So what key are we in then? G flat. Major. Or there's another option, isn't there? Where's this little bugger? No, go away. I have to come out to draw, don't I? Mouse. So there's another option, isn't there? We're either in G flat major, or if we go down 3 semitones, what's the relative minor?
E flat.
E flat minor. Okay, so we have to have a look at what's going on in the passage of music. Okay, so where does it end? Where does it start? What's going on? This is a big clue here, isn't it? Where does it end? What's that note?
G flat.
G flat. G flat major, isn't it? It's not E flat minor because it doesn't start on an E flat minor. It doesn't. And if you have a look through the passage of music as well, there's a few different G flats. It's the G flat scale. So we're looking at G flat major. So what he's done now in the example is he's put the key signature in for G flat major there, and then he's rewritten it without any of the sharps and flats in, because they're now accounted for, aren't they, in the key signature, so we don't need to put them in. One thing that's notable that he has done, can you see all the musical markings that are in there? So he's put this direction, he's put this, which is a crescendo. What's a crescendo? It's
as it gets louder towards the end.
As it gets louder, good. So it's gone from that volume to that volume. It's gotten loud because we've got an F. Then we've got a dim, which is a diminuendo, which is the opposite of crescendo, means it's getting quieter. And then we've got a P at the end. What's the P mean? What's that?
Quiet, soft.
Soft or quiet, yeah, so piano. Okay, so it sounds quite a tricky thing to do, doesn't it? But once you kind of figure out how many sharps and flats are in the key, you can pretty much work it out. Now, don't forget, we did say, didn't we, that grade 5 is all about G flat major and F sharp major. They love it in grade 5, up to 6 sharps and flats, okay? So if you remember those, 6 sharps, F sharp, and 6 flats, G flat, then a lot of the answers are going to be around those 2 keys. Now, in the next passage, what we need to look at is this double sharp. Now, it's got a double sharp in it, and the keys don't contain double sharps. So what this means is that it's an accidental within the key. So we count that as a sharp, and then it's been raised another sharp just accidentally, so just for that piece of music. So don't get freaked out if you see a double sharp. What that means is it's already a sharp note in the key that's been raised a semitone. But what we have to do is we have to account for that in the new key. So once we've got the key signature in, we still have to raise this C here by a semitone, so that will be a C sharp, whatever the new key is. The initial sharp will go in the key signature, and then it's been raised as a semitone, even though it's not in the key. Does that make sense? So sometimes, if it's an accidental within the passage of music, it's not in the key signature, but just for that bar, you want a C sharp in there. because that's the sound you want. So if you see a double sharp, it means that you have to put an accidental in the new passage of music because this sharp has been raised by a semitone. Yeah? Okay, so the first thing we need to do then is figure out how many sharps are in there or which notes are sharp. So let's have a little look then. So I'm going to circle the sharps, the ones that, if they occur twice, I won't circle it twice. What I want you guys to do is somebody or all of you go in and write what notes they are above the circles, okay? So that one, that one, that one. That's not a new one, that's a new one. That's a new one. That's a new one. And that's it, I think. So you can count this as a sharp, but you have to make sure that you sharpen it in the new key. Have a look at this one again, whoever's written that. So F lives here, doesn't it, on this line? Yeah, well done. Well done.
I was testing you.
Good. I'm glad I know my treble clef. That's one. If it had been in tenor or alto, I might have missed that. Probably would have missed that actually. So we've got a C here, haven't we, which is a double sharp. So however we rewrite it, we need to make sure that's sharp in the next key, because we'll have one sharp in the key signature and then we need to raise it. Okay, so how many different sharps have we got there then, folks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 6 sharps, haven't we? So what key?
C sharp.
What's that?
C sharp.
C sharp would be 7 sharps.
So is it B sharp?
Not E sharp.
B.
No. So what did they say about the 6 sharps and flats? So if it's got 6 flats, it's G flat. If it's got 6 sharps, it is what? Come on, you can do this. Let me put it a different way then. Okay, everything's sharp and B is natural. In F,
G sharp.
is it what?
G.
Not B. So if everything's sharp,
G.
and it's not G. If everything's sharp and B is natural. In F, everything's natural.
F sharp.
It's F sharp, because in F, everything's natural, isn't it? And B is flat. So in this key, everything's sharp and B is natural. So we've got 2 possibilities here then. We've got F sharp major. And if we go down, 3 semitones from F sharp major to find the minor, what is the possible minor?
E flat minor.
We're in a sharp key, aren't we? So you got the right note, but you're calling it the wrong thing.
So D sharp.
D sharp, well done, yeah. So if we're in a sharp key, it can't be E flat, can it? It's got to be D sharp. Okay, so they're the 2 possibilities. D sharp. Now, have a little look at the piece of music. Have a little look, where does it start? Where does it end? What's it resolving around? What key do we think it's in?
D sharp minor.
It's in D sharp minor, well done Matty, yeah. It starts on a D sharp, doesn't it? And it ends on a D sharp. We've got the first 3 notes in the D sharp minor scale there. In fact, this D sharp's really reinforced in the first bit, isn't it? So we've got 3 D sharps there. So it's D sharp minor. That would be the key we're in. Okay, and now it's asking you to rewrite it. So we got 6 sharps. where do they go on the stave then, guys? Where do your 6 sharps go? Just put some dots on there if you can. So remember, they go in the order, don't they? Father Christmas gets drunk after 8 beers. So where do we start? Where do we start? Not there. Who's put?
It's at the top, isn't it?
At the top. Well done, yeah. So they go in this little, I'm not going to put them as sharps, I'll just put them as blobs because it takes too long to write. But they go in this order. So Father Christmas, 2 little steps from the top. Then back up, gets drunk after, 3 little steps from the top. And then 8 bevies if you're dead scouse like. Yeah? So that's how they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, what have I done? I've done an extra sharp there, haven't I? Bam, bam, bam. So you've got to make sure you got your 6 sharps in. And then what we need to do is rewrite the passage of music, but this time we don't need to put all the sharps in that are accounted for in there because they're now in the key signature. So this piece of music will now just look like this. Now, as we said, it's got a double sharp in there, hasn't it? So as well as the key signature, that's now been raised by a semitone. So we've got 1 sharp in the key signature, and then it needs raising again. So what do we do? What do we make this C here? What do we do to raise that by a semitone? What do we need to do to this double sharp in the new key? So it's been raised twice, hasn't it? There. So it's been raised once in the key signature. We got a C sharp. There. So it needs raising again. So what do we need to do to it?
Yeah, then another sharp on to it.
Sharp. Yeah. So if it's a double sharp in the original key and you're putting 1 sharp in the key signature, you just need to make sure you put 1 sharp in because it's an accidental. That double sharp doesn't belong in the key. Okay, and then you would simply write out what's there, but without the accidentals in because they're now in the key signature, aren't they? What else do you need to put in here? What else do you need to put that I haven't put at the beginning? What's missing?
Time
Oh,
signature.
time
signature.
Yeah.
Common time.
Yeah, everything that you see in here, all the ties, the slares, everything needs to go in the new one. Okay, so we got the idea of that. I think the easiest way to do it is to do exactly what I've just done and circle the notes and see what's flat in them or sharp in them and then figure out whether it's the major or the minor. Let's look at this now. I'm getting good at that. Clear all my drawings. Wow, look at that. Nice one, Jack. Now let's see the next page then. Mousy, mousy. Okay, so we got another one. This is a bit of a bugger, isn't it? Look at all those ledger lines and stuff. What's a pig, that? Okay, let's, there we go.
It's going to be C sharp, isn't it?
Oh, let's have a look.
Because every note sharp going up.
Every single note is sharp. That is providing it's using every note in the scale, isn't it? Because the melody might not have, for example, a B natural in it, in which case it'd still be F sharp because it's got 6 sharps. So we
I've
really
just noticed then as well, there's 2 notes that aren't sharp.
Yeah, so we really do have to kind of look at this and have a look what's going on. Okay, so let's put our, I mean, when you go into the exam, I would simply write, you know, Father Christmas gets drunk after 8 beers on your page. Ask for a piece of scrap paper, that's fine, nobody's going to penalise you for that. Right, so okay, as usual then, I'm going to circle the notes. I want you guys to identify them. So we got there. They're kind of easy, aren't they? Because they go up the scale mostly. There. Good, yeah. Let's see. Here's where things get a bit trickier, isn't it? Okay, so that one already occurs. So that's a C sharp. That one already occurs. It looks like it's just going up an octave, this, doesn't it? So that's a D. That already occurs. F. D. And C. And F. Yeah, just check those. So we got a C, a D, an F. That's an E. A C and an F. Okay, so what have we got here, guys, then? We've got a C. How many sharps have you got there? 5?
Yeah, 5.
5 sharps. So have you accounted for the E sharp over here? There's an E sharp here, isn't there?
Yeah, I didn't count the G sharp. I counted the E sharp. So it's 6, isn't it?
6 sharps, okay. Let me just check that. So we got a C, a D, an F sharp, a G sharp, an A sharp. C sharp's already there. D's already there. F sharp's already there. We've got an E sharp. So that needs circling, doesn't it? An E sharp. A C sharp and an F sharp. So how many have we got, did we say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sharps. Okay. So what's 6 sharps? We've just had a look at that before, haven't we?
D sharp minor, was it?
F sharp minor.
F sharp minor.
And what's the, let me have a look, bring my little keyboardy thing up. Okay, what's the relative major? So this, what's the relative minor? So we go down 3 semitones.
D sharp.
D sharp minor, good. Yep, I think you're getting it now, aren't you? Ah, bugger off. Okay, so it's either F sharp major or D sharp minor. Who's red? Red's got to put a big circle around F sharp. Well, that should say major anyway, shouldn't it? So F sharp major or D sharp minor. Let's have a look at what's going on. So what do we think? Where does it finish? What's this note here, the very end note? Where does it resolve to?
F sharp.
F sharp, yeah, good. If we have a look where it starts, it's on a C sharp there, which is the 5th of F sharp major. So I would say this one's F sharp major rather than D sharp minor, yeah? Because of where it ends, there's no kind of, it hits a D sharp there, but it's clearly a passing note, isn't it? And then we go back up to F sharp there. So we're in F sharp major, okay? So we need to rewrite it now. So we're going to put some blobs in where the key signature goes. So we've got 6 sharps to put in. Someone put them in, have a go. So start at the top on the F line, stick a blob in there. Good. Well done. Good effort there, Orange. I couldn't even be bothered writing a sharp. Very good. So we go FC. Where's C? Brilliant. And then we go back up. So we've got our little 2 steps. We go back up to G. Good. So we've got get drunk. So we want D. And then A. Good. And then we go back up to an E, and that's our 6 sharps. Fantastic, really good. What goes in next is the time signature. So we want to put common time in there. So it goes after the key signature. It always goes clef key time is the order it goes in. So you do your clef, yeah, well done, Red. So remember clef key, it's a mouthful, that isn't it? Clef key time, that's how it goes in. And then we need to put in any musical markings. So it starts there with a P, which Matty told us earlier means softly. Yep, and then we need to put allegro giusto in, or giusto. Allegro is fast, so it's like when you're legging it, I think, allegro, allegro. So that would go in there. We'll just pretend, yeah, leg it la, that's that one. Yeah, shut up. And then we need to simply rewrite it, but this time we don't need to put any sharps in because they're in the key signature. So blah, 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 you would rewrite that. There's no double sharps or double flats to worry about, so you don't need to put any other accidentals in. You literally just need to rewrite the notes, okay? We all good on that? Yeah, so we try one more. The new key is, you know that, which is always good, isn't it? Right, okay, so we won't rewrite this one because I haven't photocopied the manuscript properly, but we will figure out the key anyway. Okay, so this time we got some flats, so we need to circle them. Any new flat we need to circle. Oh, that's not a flat. Yeah, it is, it's part of that, isn't it? Sorry, I'm clearly on crack, aren't I, today? I don't know what's going on. Okay. Right, we've got E flat, we got D flat, yeah, we got D flat, C flat, B flat, A flat, G flat, and E flat, which is already accounted for. So how many flats have I got in there then, guys, the ones that I've circled?
5.
5, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hang on, what am I doing? No. Okay, let's just name them. So we've got, what's this note here?
G flat.
Put you out your misery, G flat, yeah. Then we've got
E flat.
E flat, good. Then we got D flat,
C flat.
C flat, good.
D flat.
I've put a D there, haven't I? That should be a B, because I'm an idiot. D flat, good. Hobbs, will you bugger off? Come on, get down. Right.
That's identical to my cat.
He's huge. He's like, he just, when he wants attention, it's like you can't do anything else because he's just on you. Right, okay, so we got a C flat.
Maybe it is your cat, Liam.
Maybe
You know what? He does disappear for days at a time.
That's because Kelly's robbing him.
Okay, so we got a C flat, which we've already accounted for. B flat we've already accounted for. A flat and G flat we've already accounted for. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flats. Yeah. So it's really important that you count all the flats, otherwise you'll just get the key signature wrong, won't you? So what key are we in then, guys, if we've got 6 flats?
Is it G flat?
G flat major, or let's have a look at the keyboard again.
It's the key of Wings Wednesdays, you know that. So it says at the bottom.
It's Friday though.
It's Wings Wednesdays in my heart.
Wings Wednesdays can be every day if you want it, Jack. You just got to believe.
That sounds like the start of some sort of musical.
Right.
Meant more like Hamilton, but yeah, okay.
So G flat major, what's the alternative then if we go down 3 semitones? What's the minor? So we've got G flat major. 1, 2, 3.
E flat minor.
E flat minor. Very good. Oh God, help us. What's going on?
So basically, we've just done the same key signature 4 times.
Basically, you have to just remember, I mean, if it's got a C flat in it, it's going to be 5 flats, isn't it? 6 flats. because that's the last flat to occur. So if it's got a C flat, it's going to be 6 flat. Right, okay. So it's going to be G flat major or E flat minor. Have a little look. Where do we start? Where do we begin? Where do I begin? Okay, so what's this note here? What's this note?
E flat.
It's an E flat, isn't it? We've got some other E flats there. It's resolving back to E flat. You can see the piece of music. So what key are we in?
E flat minor.
E flat minor, well done. So we would put our 5 flats in that I have very shoddily missed out at the bottom here. But do you get the idea, guys? Yeah, so I think as long as you remember if it's 6 sharps, F sharp minor, F sharp major, D sharp minor. Yeah, if it's 6 flats, G flat major, E flat minor. And then you'd have a look within the piece of music to see what's going on. Okay, so let me see. There's a lot more of these to do. I've got a book that somebody's actually filled in. I don't know where I acquired this book from. But as you can see, we've got the keys right there. Ba, 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 E flat minor. Woohoo! So that's the way to figure it out. Obviously, you would have to put all these musical markings in and the like. So it says moderato. Do we know what that means?
Moderately.
Moderately, yeah. Okay, and we'd have to start with the rest, etc., etc. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the other exercises up in this vein. There's only one more actually. So what I'd like you to do is just have a go at the last exercise for next week in that vein, and then next week, what have we got to do? Oh, right, okay, so next week we've got to write some stuff out enharmonically. So it just means like, if it's in F sharp, we've got to write it out in G flat. If it's in D sharp, we've got to write it out in E flat, etc., etc. Okay, so has anybody got any questions at this point? I shall just unshare my screen so I can see all your lovely faces. Hang on. Clear. I sound like Andy Duffy. He does that if he's in my car at any point. He backseat drives. He looks there when my turn goes clear, and I'm like, I know it's clear.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen Hamilton yet?
Just 1 sec. Let me just unshare this. What am I doing? What's going on?
Oh, Lewis Hamilton or?
No, like Hamilton the musical. I wasn't sure if you meant questions relating to the topic or just questions in general, so I thought I'd ask one in general.
Just in general? No, I haven't. Shall we? What I'll do is I'll stop recording now and we'll just have a little catch up, okay? Okay, Pete and Johnny.
Bye, Pete and Johnny.
We love you. We love
This
you.
week
No,
Wednesdays.
Okay, stop.